Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Ozaki. I am the Associate Pastor at State College Presbyterian Church, and this is our daily pause, a moment to stop, reflect, to listen, to give our day a bit of centering that allows us to know what we are actually centered around, as opposed to just chasing whatever the loudest voices are among us. And so, I'm going to skip right to it, but I'm going to do things a little bit differently today because I want to share with you a process that I've done with lots of folks, but especially youth, and people seem to get really into. There is a practice within Christian spirituality called Lectio Divina. It's this process of reading a passage over and over again until a certain part of it or a certain sentence jumps out to you, and then focusing on that and just sitting in silence with it to see what God brings to you through it. So there might be a phrase, and for some reason that phrase jumps out to you, and you sit with it, and it reminds you of something that makes you realize something that shows you something about yourself or about God. Right? We kind of allow that to be our path, and allow the Spirit to lead us in it, as opposed to us trying to make ourselves learn something or know exactly what the passage says and the right answer. We allow the Spirit to tell us the answers that we need to hear. It's a way of kind of opening ourselves up and trusting. A twist on this is called Lectio Visio. It's the same thing, except instead of listening to words, we look at images, usually with some kind of art. And so what I'm going to do is, as usual, I'm going to give us our minute of pause, and then I'm going to show you an image. I'm going to let it sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to move to another image, and I'm going to do a few. And I'd like you, if there's one of those that jumps out to you, to stick with it. Feel free to pause this video or to go back to it and just sit with that image for a while. See what it brings to you. See what it leads you to wonder about. And then we'll come back and do our minute of silence again, and then maybe share a little bit. And as we're doing this, I encourage you to share in the comments about what you're seeing or feeling or experiencing, what picture jumped out to you. An example, in the past, I've used this photo. There's nothing special about it, but there was a story of a young girl who looked at it and she said, "Oh, I'm that tree, and there are others who are meant to hold me up." And then she looked at it for a little longer and she said, "But actually, I think that there are the things that are holding me up, the people that I'm relying on, I think they actually might be dead inside. There might be no real life there." And actually, as you can see in the background, those trees back there, those are others that God has brought to me and is offering me to be held by, who actually have life with and among them. I think God is telling me I need to be with them. Another time, I held this photo up. And the person said, "I feel like we are all have the capacity for light, for God to move in our lives, for God to create beautiful things in us. Some people are and some people aren't. It's not because there's something wrong with them. It's ultimately what we're plugged into." And then he talked about what he'd been giving his attention to, his time to. This is an older gentleman, and he talked a lot about the news he had been watching and the authority figures he had been trusting, and how he doesn't think that they might not actually be full of light. It's all kinds of different things. So I want to give us a chance to experience that. So first, let us sink into it. I'm going to say a phrase in descending. I'm going to say a phrase from Psalm 46. "Be still and know that I am God." And I'm going to give a moment, and then I'm going to say it again, but a little bit less. "Be still and know that I am." And then I'm going to give it a moment. And we're just kind of use that to kind of move down into a more peaceful place together. All right, so sit back, feet on the ground, back straight, shoulders back, breathing deeply. And let us begin. I invite you to close your eyes. Be still and know that I am God. And you can feel free to repeat it. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know I am. And you can repeat that and take a deep breath. Be still and know. Be still. Be. And we'll give ourselves a minute. This will be our first photo. If anything jumps out, feel free to just kind of stick with it. Pause the video. Let it sit with you. What does it remind you of? What might it symbolize? What thoughts or feelings does it bring up in you? do one more. I'm going to give you a minute. Feel free to comment. What's happening in you? What might you be showing? What is it bringing up? Let's share it with each other. Thought I'd share with you guys the one that struck out to me. It was this one. It's just an apple core, right? But to be honest, sometimes I feel kind of chewed up. And sometimes I feel kind of like the stuff I'm supposed to give, I just don't have it to give. Or whatever I had to give, it's all gone. Right? Sometimes I feel like it's just the part left in me that isn't really worth anything, and that scares me, and that actually terrifies me sometimes. And I thought about it more, and I thought about how actually the most valuable part of an apple isn't the meat that we eat. Yeah, that's the most valuable part if you want to sell it. But if we want to be a people who aren't defined by the market economy, right, what we can produce and what we sell, the truth is that in nature, the most valuable part is actually the stuff part that gets thrown out. It's the seeds, right? And the idea is that an animal would take this, they'd eat it up, they'd chew it out, they'd be done with it, and it would fall into the earth and be buried. There'd be a kind of death to it. And then something else would be able to rise up again. Something new would grow that can grow way more than just what this gave in the first place. And I always wonder what kind of seeds are sitting in me when I feel empty. What is waiting? What is God inviting to die, to let it be buried, to let me give up, so that something new can grow? What death am I being invited into so that there can be resurrection again? Right now, all the parts of my job that I think are the most worthwhile, parts that might make me a good quote-unquote minister, I can't really do them because I can't be with people. So sometimes I feel like this. But at the same time, there's seeds here. There's a stripping away. that God is inviting us into. And so I think I need to sit even more and ask and wonder and listen and shut up to see what God is doing in me and us in this place, in this whole process. What is being awakened even as other things are being killed? All because we have to actually stop for a little while. Now, how about you? What do you got? Share it with us. What seeds do you want to drop? Y'all, as always, if you have needs or if you want to catch these videos every week or if you want to share them, you can get them at the State College Presbyterian Church Facebook page. You can also email me with anything. I'm at michaelscpc@gmail.com. And take care of each other, because we are here to remember and to learn how to trust God, the God who takes care of us, so we can take care of each other. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.